Hara everyone, this is Feltus45 back again, finally. It's been a busy 2 weeks for me, but that's another video. This video is a little tips video for the newbies of Sanctum. Sanctum is the FPS/tower defense game I reviewed earlier on my channel. Well, it was on a Steam free-to-play weekend thingy-mabobber, and that's great. No, that's awesome. The game suddenly had hundreds of active players, and finding a game was cake. Unfortunately, a lot of these people were lost and confused. After a few rounds of them not talking and doing 2 damage per second, I would say, press T to talk, and they would immediately say, "Oh, thanks, I'm new." I'd say, "Did you play the tutorial?" They'd say, "No." I'd say, "Why not?" They'd say, "I don't know." Facepalm. So my first tip for all you new players is to play the tutorial. It's there for a reason, trust me. Figuring stuff out on your own is fun, but the tutorial will clear stuff up and allow you to survive more than 5 rounds on easy mode. True story, unfortunately. Jumping to tip 2, the tutorial briefly mentions the importance of your maze being as long as possible. This is absolutely essential. Press tab to enter the overview window to view your map. Most maps have multiple routes where you can backtrack enemies to the near start of the level. This is of course with the exception of a few maps like Bridge. On maps like mine, make sure you take advantage of these open areas. Creating an efficient maze will allow your towers to show their true potential. Tip number 3 is also a common mistake I've seen. Not many Diversify Towers. I believe the game can be played many different ways, so I never dictate anything. I allow everyone to do their own thing. If they ask me for my consultation on a maze design or which tower to place in a certain area, I might give my 2 cents. This led to absolute disaster. Really kind of funny actually. The new guys would place dozens upon dozens of Gatling towers and not much else. Don't get me wrong, Gatling is awesome against many mobs, bloaters in particular, but making them a prime weapon of your labyrinth is digging your own grave. They do almost no damage to a few of the mobs and none at all to some, i.e. aerial mobs. A common mistake is placing lots of AA to ward off mobs that can fly, but this technique can also fall short as some aerial mobs completely dodge AA. So unless you have some of the great DLC content out there, diversify your creation. Gatlings to scatter lasers, lightning towers to mortars. And now for tip number 3.5. Know your towers. Mortars provide excellent explosive damage, and who doesn't think that destruction and complete carnage is synonymous with mortars? While they are strong, they are slow as turtles on Valium. They don't do much good against mobs that are quick, which incidentally are the mobs that would take the most damage from them. The weakest mobs often come in massive hordes, so you need towers that have speed over brute force. The opposite is true of strong mobs. Study your towers for 3 measly minutes before playing and you'll do way better. Tip number 4 is something that's an absolute no-brainer. Although I never saw it used on the free-to-play weekend unless I did it a couple rounds in. Placing walkable tiles. For example, slow fields are inexpensive at only 20 resources apiece, yet they initially slow down creatures on them by 20%, and that's a great trade-off. Slow fields aren't the only walkable tile in the game. There are currently killing floors and amp fields. The trade-off of damage versus speed is another debate, but regardless, take advantage of unused space by placing these bad boys in their path. Tip number 5, cool your damn jets and quit placing televators. Many of the games I played in, people placed upwards of 7 televators, mostly near the start of the maze. You are wasting primo real estate. Televators do no damage and there is no point to making another one 2 blocks away. Nuff said. Tip number 6, this one really boils my blood. As I write this mockery of a script, I begin to cringe with anger at the mere memory of it. Wasteful upgrading of weapons. It makes me sick to my stomach just saying it. You start a game, people quickly join, 1 or 2 of them say, "I'm weapons guy," like there's such a role. They rapidly upgrade their sniper, or their rocket launcher, or their shotgun, and I went along with it. Remember, I'm no Grumpy Gus, but that was a huge mistake. These people often got the lowest DPS every round, even behind me. I usually only upgrade my freeze ray. They were so fond of playing with big boy guns that they failed to realize that they had basically agreed to be our DPS guy, challenging the towers as king of DPS. They failed tremendously. If you upgrade your weapons, you better know how to use them. You are trading automated tower damage for human-operated machinery. If you fail to deliver, it could seal your team's fate. My last tip is tip number 7. No matter who you are, alternate weapons. Expend your weapon's current ammo, then switch to another, and repeat until you're caramel dancing. Upgrading a weapon and rarely using it is literally like throwing resources away. Even if all your weapons are like level 2, use it or lose it, girl. So there are my tips for the new guys and gals out there. Play your own way, but make sure you use an effective strategy. Thanks for checking out my video. This is the part where I beg you to comment, rate, favorite, subscribe, and this has been Feltus45. I will catch you later.